Well, it finally happened. After months of waiting, the first of the RTX 3000 series of graphics cards, the RTX 3080, has finally launched. But the launch didn't go the way many people expected, because within minutes of the graphics cards going live, they sold out everywhere on pretty much all platforms that supplied them. And of course it made many people confused and angry they didn't manage to purchase the brand new graphics card, a really decent graphics card performance wise and price wise. And the thing is that we don't even know when restocks are gonna arrive. But as you've already heard by now, the story does go a bit deeper, because most of that trouble has been caused by scalpers, people who used bots to buy these cards in bulk and then sell them at inflated prices on sites like eBay when they were out of stock at all your normal retailers, which is a pretty savvy move to make some money, but also generally frowned upon because it's just kind of a bad move. Nvidia just simply published a very lazy apology, and many retailers were just flooded with complaints on the customers that this all happened. Because even though some of these sites did utilize protection measures like captures and other stuff to prevent people using bots to buy these graphics cards, it still kind of happened, and the prices they're going for on eBay are pretty insane. So what exactly did this happen? Well, many people have been trying to put the blame on Nvidia, saying it's all just, artificial scarcity to drive up the prices. Issue is, that's not how it works. Nvidia doesn't make money on people not being able to buy their cards and instead buying them at a higher price on eBay. They make money from people buying cards directly from them, be it literally directly, a la the Founders Editions, or through the companies in the middle, like Asus and Gigabyte, who modify them and sell them off instead. So yes, it definitely looks like too few of the cards have been produced to meet the demand. And of course, a lot of that can probably be pinned down to the fact that we are still in a global pandemic, so production is probably a tad lower than it used to be. However, another problem is that Nvidia clearly tried to position these cards as a true rival to the Xbox Series X and also PS5, which are coming in a few months' time. And of course, they will be the hot Christmas items. While Nvidia has been trying to get people to stay with PCs to get the best gaming experience, because that's the market where they gain money. Because both the Xbox Series X and PS5 use AMD hardware, so they wanted to release it early enough to really compete with the other two, to get that kind of mindshare about it, to make them the hot Christmas item, to make people compare the poorer performance of the consoles to the superior performance of the 3080. And seeing how only recently we've been actually finding out when these consoles are being released, it almost certainly led to this uncertainty of Nvidia not knowing when is the perfect time to strike. That's not to mention RDNA 2, which the announcement for the announcement, if that makes sense, was only published a few days ago. Nvidia knew, just like we knew, that RDNA 2 graphics cards would be coming very, very soon. So they also wanted to get ahead of the curve on that, forcing people to compare the RDNA 2 based graphics cards to the new Ampere based graphics cards, and in theory, hopefully, that would mean that Nvidia would get some publicity that way, because they hoped that the RDNA 2 graphics cards would compare poorly. Which basically led to this four-way Mexican standoff with Nvidia, AMD, Microsoft and Sony in the four corners, each waiting for the others to flinch so they could strike. However, let's now talk about the scalpers. Now, I'm not here to condemn or condone that behavior. It's not illegal to do that kind of thing. It's just generally considered a not good thing to do, as described by the generally and collectively accepted rules on how to be a good human being on the internet, which I'm pretty sure is part of the Geneva Convention. However, for retailers, it's not really a bad thing. For them, it doesn't matter if a scalper gets it or an actual customer who wants to use it for personal use, because both of these people will pay them exact same. They get money in the end, so that's it. The only thing they would gain from trying to put a stop to it is just less angry tweets and emails from the customers, or rather potential customers, seeing how they didn't end up buying those graphics cards. And that isn't really a new thing. That kind of thing has happened before. However, this time around it has taken a very interesting twist. And every year as creating these bots becomes easier and easier, it just becomes a more lucrative opportunity, and that turns into a very vicious cycle that feeds into itself, because not only are bots for scalpers being developed, but also bots for people who just want to stand a chance at buying a graphics card. Many bots that were designed as just, innocent tools for anyone to buy graphics cards, those are being used by both scalpers but also people who wanted to stand any chance at buying a graphics card, because they knew very well that there will be scalpers out there using the same or similar bots to try to do the same, which causes the graphics cards to sell out even faster, because more people are forced to do that if they want to secure a graphics card, even if they want one for personal use. Even if they don't want to do it to, sell it on to someone else, they have to deploy these kind of methods to stand a chance, which isn't very healthy, and like I said, creates this very vicious cycle that just never seems to end. And if things don't change, we can expect that by the next launch, the cards will sell out even faster. Especially for the cards like RTX 3070, which, while are more powerful than 2080 Ti at literally half the price, so of course that's going to be a very, very hot item, especially when it comes to lead up to Christmas. So what is the end game here? What's going to happen next? Well, it's very hard to predict, because again, these retailers don't have much stake in trying to prevent people from buying their own graphics cards. That's the end goal, that's what they want to do. They want to sell the graphics cards, and many people have been even saying that it should be enforced, not just by websites, but by law, that this is just not allowed. Buying these cards in bulk just to sell them on eBay later on at a higher price. That's how mad people are that these things happen, even if they are, technically not illegal or anything, just kind of inconvenient. So people decide to take things into their own hands, turning this into quite a comedic thing indeed. And people have been, scamming scalpers at this point, as quickly new bots have been released which would bet on these graphics cards and would usually bet insane amounts of money with no intention to pay, both to annoy the scalper and also try to discourage other people from buying these graphics cards because they have no alternative anywhere else. And what I find very interesting is that even though that is also considered not to be a very tolerable thing in the generally accepted collectively thingy blah 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 blah, but people yet seem to say it's acceptable here just because it's against people who just want to make a quick buck by buying these in bulk. So it is definitely quite a bit hypocritical. So I guess my tip to you is just don't get involved in this at all. Don't be annoying to anyone in this situation. Don't try to flip these cards for more on eBay, and don't try to scam the scalpers, because you're the one who's quote-unquote in the wrong in both situations there. So just stay away from it, and hopefully things will just improve on their own. Or is that the case? Because how long can this go on? How many more launches will get destroyed by this kind of thing? Because bots buying up and flipping items for more on eBay or other sites have been a huge problem, especially when it comes to concert tickets before, pretty much all concerts have been cancelled. And with tech, it's no different. It's been a problem for a while and will most likely continue to be a problem. So what can be done about it? Well, hopefully with Nvidia now having a bit more time, and also by learning quite a big lesson here, hopefully they'll be able to create more graphics cards in the lead up to the release of RTX 3090 and RTX 3070. They still have quite a few weeks left until the respective releases of those cards, so they hopefully have enough time to create enough units to, meet the demand. And sadly, we don't even know when RTX 3080s will be back in stock. It could be a few days, could be a few weeks, could be a few months. We don't know, and that is kind of terrifying. So if you need a kind of performance really badly right now, then hey, at least there's plenty of cheap used 2080 Ti's on eBay you can use. For the same price, you can probably buy 2 unlimited SLI. Oh yeah, and speaking of which, yeah, Nvidia is trying to kill SLI. But don't worry, I'll have a whole video talk about that very soon, so definitely subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that. But let me know what you think of this whole launch. It was a pretty big disaster, let's be honest, but it was definitely quite an interesting show nonetheless. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you're one of the lucky ones who managed to secure a 3080. Let me know all of that down in the comments below. And hey, if you have some money spare that you intended to use to buy a RTX 3080, then maybe use that money to support my channel on Patreon, which is going to be linked down in the video description below, because a $1 month goes a long way to help out my channel. And also, look to find on Patreon LKB for support of this channel. Thank you ever so much. Down there, you also find a link to my Discord if you want to talk to me about this or whatever else really. And down there you also find our Amazon links if you want to buy some other PC parts or really anything else in preparation for your RTX 3000 based rig. But I guess that's really it, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in what I have next. Goodbye everyone, goodbye.